Let's be real, we are drowning in data. But what if you could take all that noise, all that chaos, and turn it into a single, beautiful, understandable picture? Well, today we're going to talk about a tool that does exactly that, Grafana. In a world of total information overload, how do we find the signals that actually matter? Let's dive in.
Just think about it for a second. You've got data pouring in from everywhere. Your app servers, your virtual machines. Maybe you've even got a little Raspberry Pi project in your garage, or some of those IoT weather sensors in the backyard. The thing is, each one is speaking its own language, and all that amazing information is just trapped in its own little box. It's overwhelming, right?
So, to really get why Grafana is such a game changer, we first have to understand the world it was designed for, and that's the world of DevOps. This is really where the whole story begins. See, modern software isn't just built and shipped anymore. It's a constant loop, all designed for speed and agility. You develop, you integrate, you test, you deploy, but then what? How do you actually know if the thing you just pushed out is working? That's where that final step, monitor, becomes maybe the most critical part of the whole cycle. It's your feedback loop from the real world. It tells you what's really going on.
And when you monitor effectively, you get this incredible visibility. You can see everything. And with that visibility, you can set up alerts to respond to problems in seconds, which, minimizes that really expensive downtime. But it's not just for the tech side. It can show you how users are reacting to new features, connecting the code you write directly to how the business is actually performing.
So, you've got all this super important data you need to watch, but it's scattered all over the place. This is the exact problem Grafana was born to solve. It literally steps onto the stage as the hero of our data story. Okay, so what is it exactly? The best way to think about Grafana is like a universal translator for data. It's this amazing open source tool that just doesn't care where your data lives. It connects to it, asks it questions, and then transforms those raw, messy answers into these beautiful, interactive visuals that you, a human, can actually understand.
And when I say it's popular, I mean it. We're talking about the #1, the most popular tool in the entire world for this job. People are using it for everything from monitoring massive, complex IT infrastructures to power plants, and yes, even to monitor beehives. Seriously. If you can measure it, you can probably put it in a Grafana dashboard.
So it sounds a bit like magic, right? How does it actually pull this off? Well, the core idea behind it all is surprisingly simple. Let's break it down into 3 steps.
First up, you have your data producers. This is anything and everything that's generating the raw data you care about. It could be a server churning out performance statistics, a virtual machine, or that weather sensor outside your window tracking the temperature.
Now, all that raw data needs a place to live. That brings us to step 2, a data source. This is usually some kind of specialized database. You might have heard of names like Prometheus or InfluxDB that is built to collect and store all that information flying around. Think of it as the highly organized library for all your raw data.
And here's the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. The Grafana server itself doesn't actually store any of your data. Nope, it just connects to your data sources, asks for the specific info you want, and then it does the magic of transforming that data into the awesome charts and graphs you see on your screen. The kind of data Grafana works with usually falls into 2 main buckets. On one side, you've got metrics. These are just numbers that are measured over time, stuff like your CPU usage or the temperature. On the other side, you have logs. Think of these as a diary for your system. Timestamped notes about every single thing that happens, like an error message or a system warning. And the cool thing is, Grafana handles both beautifully.
All right, so that's the theory, but what does this all actually look like in practice? This is where things get really cool, because Grafana basically gives you data superpowers.
So yeah, it's not just about making pretty graphs and heat maps. It's about making them do something. You can set up alerts so that if your CPU spikes, you get a message in Slack instantly. But the real magic trick? It's the power to unify, to bring data from dozens of completely different databases all into one single screen. And because it's open source, there's this huge community building hundreds of plugins to connect it to almost anything you could ever imagine.
To really understand just how powerful this is, let's look at a huge real-world example. Just imagine the challenge that health organizations faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. They had critical data coming in from every single country, all in different formats, all at different times. How could they possibly see the big picture?
The mission was this: to bring together all of that chaotic, global data onto a single interactive map that anyone, from a scientist to a politician, could understand in a single glance. A massive, massive challenge, but honestly, a perfect job for Grafana.
And here's a super simple version of what that looks like. A single dashboard can pull in multiple numbers, like confirmed cases, recoveries, and deaths, and show them all in one clean chart. You can immediately see the relationships between all the key data points, turning a gigantic, terrifying spreadsheet of global data into an instant, understandable insight.
So you see, from beehives to global pandemics, the principle is exactly the same. It is all about bringing everything you need to see into one single place, in a way that just makes immediate sense.
And that really brings us to the most important point of all. Grafana isn't just a tool for making charts. By making complex data accessible and understandable to everyone on a team, not just the hardcore engineers, it creates a culture where anybody can make smarter, faster, data-driven decisions. It's an equalizer.
So I'll leave you with this question. Whether it's the health of your business, your home automation project, or your application's performance, what new insights could you unlock? What could you finally understand if you could just see your entire world on one single screen?